We are hearing from the paternal grandparents of the 5-year-old Atlanta boy found dead in a suitcase in southern Indiana. Cairo Jordan's body was found in April, but his body was just identified. His mother, Dejaune Anderson, is now wanted for murder. Court records show Anderson posted on social media that she believed her son needed to be exorcised or killed. Police also say she wrote of hexes and curses, quote, protection spells and reversal spells. Family members say they wish someone would have reached out about the social media posts.
That could have saved Cairo, that could have saved his mom, could have brought him back to Georgia, could have helped him in whatever way they needed.
For this to happen, it sort of blew your mind because, she seemed like she was a good mother.
Have her stay up. Take her to the witness stand. Have her stand. Clause number 88C01-2210-F1-833, State of Indiana versus Dejaune Anderson. Ms. Anderson, for the record, would you state your full name, please?
Yes, I am Princess Califia Hatan Tupape II, representing the entity Dejaune Anderson.
You're known as Dejaune Anderson?
I'm representing the entity as Dejaune Anderson.
Your date of birth?
My date of birth is February 2nd, 1961.
That would make you how old?
That would make me 63 years old.
And the last 4 digits, your social security number?
I do not have a social security number. I have a declaration of nationality underneath the Washita Moors of the Indigenous People of the United Nations, Chapter 221593.
What's your address?
My address is
Do you have a good contact telephone number?
I don't know my contact number by heart. I believe it.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, including alcohol, today?
No, I'm not.
You read and understand the English language?
Yes, I do.
If I say something you don't understand, will you let me know?
I will most definitely will.
Ms. Anderson. Officer Busick, who's investigated this, looked for you for the past 2 years, and Prosecutor Hunt have charged you with 3 counts of criminal conduct. Count 1 is murder as a felony, would indicate that between April the 10th, 2022 and April the 16th, 2022 in Washington County, State of Indiana, you did knowingly or intentionally kill another human being, that being child victim number 1, contrary to the form of the statute in such cases made and provided by Indiana Code 35-42-1-1, parentheses 1, and against the peace and dignity of the state of Indiana. Count 2, neglect of a dependent resulting in death as a level 1 felony, would indicate between December the 1st, 2021 and April the 16th, 2022 in Washington County, State of Indiana, you being at least 18 years of age and having the care of child victim 1, a dependent less than 14 years of age, did knowingly place said dependent in a situation that endangered the dependent's life or health and which resulted in the death of child victim number 1. Count 3, obstruction of justice as a level 6 felony, would indicate that between April the 10th, 2022 and April the 16th, 2022 in Washington County, State of Indiana, you did alter, damage, or remove a record, document, or thing with the intent to prevent said item from being produced or used as evidence in a legal proceeding or an administrative or criminal investigation, contrary to the form of the statutes made in such case provided. The murder, a felony, has a range of imprisonment from 45 years to 65 years, with the advisory sentence being 55 years and up to a $10,000 fine. The level 1 felony neglect of a dependent resulting in death has a range of imprisonment from 20 years to 40 years, with the advisory sentence being 30 years and up to a $10,000 fine. And the level 6 felony has a range of imprisonment of no time in jail, but treated as a misdemeanor, to 2.5 years at the Indiana Department of Corrections, with the advisory sentence being 1 year and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
I do understand.
Okay. And do you understand the potential penalties?
I do.
Do you intend to hire a lawyer, or is someone likely to hire a lawyer for you?
I want to file a motion for self-representation.
You understand if you do that, you are required to conduct yourself as a lawyer to be able to board our potential jurors, to abide by the rules of evidence, to abide by the rules of procedure.
I do understand. I have a master's in history.
That doesn't give you a law degree, though.
But I do understand how to read procedures and understand the court procedures.
All right. Just because you represent yourself, that doesn't ensure yourself of a good lawyer, you know.
That's a personal opinion, but I understand.
Make your request in writing, okay?
I will, most definitely.
Uh,
Can you give me at least just like 5 days and I could get it to
I
you?
can certainly give you 5 days to do that. I think what my intention would be, let me ask you this. Can you afford a lawyer?
It's not that I can't afford a lawyer, it's that I want to do self-representation due to I understand the nature of my case, and I understand that this is my life on the line, and I do understand that there are things that involve my case as far as the evidence that I hold, which is Q classified evidence, which should be turned over to Judge Advocate General Courts immediately, if possible. Because my case involves other cases that are open currently with Judge Advocate General Courts, as well as federal investigations that are open.
Well, if the Judge Advocate General approaches us, we'll address it at that point in time.
Okay.
How about I appoint you standby counsel?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. All right. You make your written request. I need to advise you, you have a right to a speedy public trial by jury in this county. You have the right to face all witnesses against you, see your question and cross-examine those witnesses. You have the right to have witnesses brought into court to testify on your behalf, and at your request, the court will issue subpoenas requiring those individuals to come into court to testify on your behalf and bring evidence in. You have the right to have the state prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent. You cannot be required to give any testimony or make any statements against yourself to anyone. You do have the right to be heard in your own defense at any hearing or trial concerning the charges against you. Anything you say, however, may be used against you. Do you have any questions concerning your rights?
No, I do not.
Okay. Then I will set this matter for a pretrial conference on the 25th day of April at 9 a.m. A trial date of the 6th day of August of this year at 8:30 a.m. and an omnibus date of June the 15th. Do you have any questions at all?
No, I do not have any questions.
All right. You'll sign this reappearance slip. We'll discuss the issue of bond. Ms. Hunt, what's the state's position?
Yes, Your Honor. Given the gravity of this case, first of all, I would like for you just to take judicial notice of the probable cause affidavit that the state filed in support of these 3 charges, which resulted in the arrest warrant. I'd also like to bring to the judge's attention that it's almost a 2-year mark of officers locating this, at the time, unidentified little boy in the woods. So I would argue that the defendant has been a fugitive since that time. Her identification has been made. I think that raises any bond in a murder case to be something of the utmost importance and should be of an amount that should be very difficult, if not impractical, for her to be able to afford. I feel she will be abscond from this court. She's never been from Indiana. She's not from Washington County, is my understanding. She was located in California. So on that reserve, I would leave that to the court. And if further motion is needed on the state's behalf, I will make that.
Thank you, Ms.
Can I make
Ms. Anderson, you just made an objection.
Yes.
State the basis of your objection.
The basis of my objection is the fact that I am not a fugitive. I have been under NSA surveillance for the past 8 months. And how can that qualify me as a fugitive on the run when I've also had a detail from Space Force that was following my every move? When I contacted the Indiana State
Now, let me
to
tell
arrest
you,
me.
that is not a valid legal objection. If you want to represent yourself, you're going to have to learn the rules of evidence and the rules of procedure, because if you conduct yourself like this and make these types of objections, you have no chance in the world, baby.
Okay.
So, objection overruled. That I will let you make argument in regards to bond.
Okay. Well, thank you. So that's my argument is that I have been under surveillance by NSA for over 8 months. I also have a detail that follows me everywhere I go from Space Force military. I also contacted Indiana State. I think it was a federal marshal that I called to have my location tracked to pick me up. So there's no type of extent of me running where I need this astronomical bond on my charges.
Well, that's sort of interesting, because it's my understanding Officer Busick has been in touch with almost every one of those agencies, and they haven't been able to identify your location until recently. So I'm going to set your bond at no bond at this particular point in time. If Space Force comes forward and tells me that they're willing to monitor you, we'll take up the issue of bond at a later time.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll be off record at 1:44. You can, she's remanded to the custody of the Washington County Sheriff's Department.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, Sam, please say if I can give you the right one. Yeah, those are good. Oh, 1 second. Go back on. All right. Based upon what I've just heard, I'm going to ask someone from the Public Defender Office to be assigned to represent Ms. Anderson. If she files a written request and demonstrates that she has the ability to understand and comprehend and represent herself, I may ask them to withdraw or no longer require their services, but I think it's appropriate that someone from the Public Defender Office be assigned at this particular point in time. If private counsel is hired, they can withdraw. We'll be off record.
Thank you.